What's good, everybody? I'm in the car yet again. I just live in a car, right, Dom? But
Dude, I keep trying to tell him to stop going places. He does not listen to me. He just doesn't
listen,
like being in the house. I don't know what his issue is.
you know what the G in Gonz means? It means go, because I am constantly moving. But anyway, it's a victory week, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Dom and Gonz Sports Talk, the show we not only talk about everything about Baltimore Ravens, but around the NFL. And today we are wrapping up week 3, giving us our little bit of a post-game reaction of the Ravens Cowboys victory 28-25 in Jerry's World, and a couple other big things happening in week 3. This was an absolutely insane week of football. And it was pretty awesome to watch. You saw Jaden Daniels have a near perfect game, dropping our Cincinnati Kitty Cats to 0-3 in the division and dead last. Meanwhile, the Ravens get their win and move up to second in a tie with Cleveland after Cleveland takes an L to Daniel Jones and the Giants at home. So just absolute insanity going on around the league. Dom, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's nice to see that the AFC North is in what the hell land. And this is not how I expected the first 3 weeks of the NFL season to go, but we are here. Happy that we got our first win. Happy that the Bengals and Browns are frauds. And here on this Victory Wednesday, just ready to just talk about how great the week was, man.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And don't forget that the Steelers are 3-0. They won again, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But Baltimore hangs on in a dominating game for the first 50 minutes, but those dreadful last 10 minutes for the Ravens, you could see it happening again. You could see the Raiders game all over again, and all those blown leads that they had back in 2022 just creeping in your head. I didn't see any of that. We had left the game early because we wanted a head start out of the game, catch an Uber before the rest of the crowd comes in. So I missed all of those crazy shenanigans, thank God, because I probably would have had a heart attack if I was still standing there watching. But yeah, I mean, it kind of took away from a flat-out dominant performance on both sides of the ball with those really bad past 10 minutes. And honestly, my biggest part to blame in that game for that happening, and yes, the pass defense got cooked, but the special teams is the culprit, in my opinion. Because if you nail the 45-yard field goal, you're up 25 points, which is 4 possessions, right? Mm-hmm. And if you recover a rolling onside kick, you're also good to go. The Cowboys scored a touchdown, got an onside kick, and scored again. Stole a possession right out of the Ravens' grasp and took no time off the clock in doing so. So if you just do those things on special teams, I don't think it's that close of a nail-biter. I'm gonna lie to you. So I honestly thought that was the worst unit by far on that Sunday afternoon in Dallas.
Yeah.
Are you eating?
I just got home.
You're making fun of me driving, and you're saying you're stuffing your face.
I just got home from work, man. Okay, I got the polo on, fresh from work. But I agree with you. I think the fourth quarter near collapse kind of takes away from the dynamic performance that the team was having, especially in that first half. Lamar felt comfortable. Henry, first of all, what a performance. This is what we knew he was capable of, and boy, did he show it. 170-something total yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, he was just a stud that Sunday afternoon in Dallas. And this is what we knew. I mean, we knew he was capable of that. That's why we signed him. That's why we brought him on. I mean, just watching the all-22, the way that the defense froze when it was like an option play between Henry and Lamar, it was just beautiful to see. Because that's what we want. That's what he's here for. To freeze the defense, to make them think, what are we going to do? So that was nice. But I feel like the fourth quarter collapse is pretty much what is the main topic of discussion, because it's another time where the Ravens almost or
What happened?
phone call. I didn't know how to end it.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. But what I was saying was, but yeah, the near fourth quarter collapse is pretty much, I feel like, the big headline right now, because it's just another game where we could not hold on to a huge lead going into the fourth quarter. I mean, the team didn't have that put them away, keep them the foot on their neck and keep them down mentality. And you're right, special teams played a big part in that, because Tucker, another miss, which is, again, scary, because this one was only from 45. And I mean, and then the Zay missed onside kick. So, I mean, special teams was a big part in almost that near collapse. Luckily, that trick play pretty much ended it, but you're right. Special teams played a big part in that. And the defense played so lapsed, I feel like, in that second half, like, it just wasn't, like, they just could not sustain holding on to the lead. And we cannot do that against other good teams, especially in our own division alone or in the AFC in general.
Yeah, I don't know, but honestly think that was the worst part. That if we can just recover the kicks and make the field goal, I don't think it's close. I honestly really think that was the main thing. Penalties didn't help either. There were some really bad calls, especially on the Ravens. I don't know what the referees are doing to us this year, but I feel like the penalties are just such BS at the end of the game when we need them the most not to happen. Like, go back to last week with the Devontae Adams bull on 3rd and 20. I mean, and then this week it was the Odafe Owe roughing the passer, and then the Marcus Williams phantom illegal hands to the face or whatever was just after Jake Ferguson, I don't know his name, tackled Eddie Jackson pretty much in the secondary.
Yeah.
They didn't call that. But they called Marcus Williams just literally swiping his hand. Didn't stop the guy's motion at all. Just kind of reached out and just kind of touched him, but did not prohibit his motion going forward, his momentum. I don't know why. I don't know. Just horrific. The refs are garbage for us right now, and I'm not going to sit here and blame the refs, but they're a big part of why these games are close as well. We can't control some of those calls, but the pre-snap calls, those we can't control.
Yeah.
The false starts, the delayed games, those we need to stop. Okay, but I'm getting kind of sick of these referees. Yeah, Derrick Henry, like you said, excellent game. I can't. I'm excited about it, but is that a testament to us, or is that a testament to how atrocious the Cowboys defense is? Guess we'll see shortly. And I hope it is a testament to us, because we got to play better defenses very soon. So we'll see what happens at that point. And I love how you said, yeah, the sky was falling, everything was coming down, and then Lamar said, you know what, enough of this. I'm completing this pass on 3rd and 5, and we're moving the chains, and he did it. And then he ran it himself and iced the game. So 2 plays from our MVP quarterback shuts down the Cowboys and ends the game for Baltimore, and that's what you want to see from a franchise quarterback. You want, like, everything around you is crumbling, and you need to step up and make a play yourself, and that's exactly what Lamar did. And that's not what happened last week when we needed a play from the offense. So I'm excited to see that happen for us to close the game out. Because those situations are going to happen, whether it's your fault or not. A lot of them tend to be the Ravens' fault in our case. But when you have those situations and you just need one play to cement it, you want to be the ones to make the play, not give it up. So it's great to see Baltimore close the game this time and not give it away. So, yeah, that's the one positive I'll take away from that whole choking the lead scenario. So if we're going to choke leads, let's make sure we just ice it at the end. Now, by no means get in the habit of doing that. Please just blow the team out. But if that happens again, please let's ice it just like we did. Pressure. Kyle Van Noy is just something else, man. That dude is probably the best pickup we've had in Baltimore for the past couple of years. I mean, this dude is absolutely insane. I mean, he comes last year, signed in like week 3, just all out dominates. This year he's back. We re-signed him right before the season started. Broke his orbital bone week 1, leaves the game, comes back, and gets 4 sacks in the next 2 games. This dude is playing out of his mind right now, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Keep it up, Kyle, because you're doing it. You're going crazy. The pass rush was relentless in the first half. Then in the fourth quarter, it just kind of disappeared. I guess they got tired or something. But you'd like to see us get a little bit more pressure when those teams are trying to scrap their comeback drives near the end of the game. So that was my only concern about the defense. Secondary was pretty good until the fourth quarter, obviously. But, yeah, nice to see play from Nate Wiggins, stripping the ball on CeeDee Lamb. I loved that. Just makes him a Ravens player right there. Like, that's a play that a Raven makes right there. Just forcing a turnover when it's looking bad. They were about to get a touchdown. He knocks the ball out from behind, sort of like a Marlon Humphrey fruit punch, and the Ravens pounce on it. So loved that. Great play by Wiggins. He got cooked a little bit later on, but he's a rookie. He's going to learn. The slants were killing him. Jalen Tolbert cooked him on a 3rd and 5. Falele, game from Falele, and this offensive line in general. I mean, they held their own. Now, I already knew the Cowboys had no D linemen in the middle, but you just want to see good execution from a line that has been under major scrutiny the past 2 weeks. So it was really good to see Falele go out there and clear some holes for these backs and pass protect at times pretty well. So neutralized Micah Parsons, no sacks. Lamar was not sacked at all. So testament to the O-line. Now let's keep it up because we got the Bills coming to town next week. But yeah, there was a lot of great things that happened that were really good to see. So yeah, while the passing game didn't do too much, it didn't need to. It was efficient. It was short. And it kept the defense honest. I mean, little screens. We ran screens effectively. I mean, we don't ever run screens effectively. So it was like, okay, I'm excited. I'm more excited. I know a lot of people are like depressed about it. Like, oh, we barely won. We almost choked. I'm excited about the things that we did. We executed a lot of things well, and I think we can do something in the future if we keep this up. Just keep building on this performance. There was one more thing I wanted to say, but I can't really think of it right now. Shoot. Hopefully it comes back to me. More questions about it. I have a question for you a little bit later in the show, and I'll see what you're thinking. But, yeah, all around, good bounce back. We needed the win. I'll take them how we get it. Ravens season stays alive at 1-2.
Yeah. I mean, you made a lot of good points. I agree with all of them. Nate Wiggins, like you said, made a hell of a play on the football against CeeDee Lamb. He just has to clean up the penalties a little bit. He's a rookie. He'll learn. But, aside, good performance from him. Again, going back to Van Noy, I mean, like you said, he's just a stud. I mean, there's no other way to describe him, no other way to really put it out there. He's a stud, great veteran pickup for us. I just hope he continues to dominate, continues to get those looks because we desperately need it. We need to be able to establish a pass rush against some of these teams that we're going to be facing this year. And I'm glad he was able to do it against Dallas, who has a pretty good offensive line. So that was nice to see. I feel like a lot of things we talked about in the offense against the Raiders. I mean, I feel like they really looked at and really tried to execute in this game against Dallas. I mean, I talked about it in the last video, using Derrick Henry out of the single back. What did we see? We saw a little bit more single back in the play calling there. letting Henry be a downhill runner. That turns into big runs, and that turns him to stiff-arming somebody's son into the nether realm. That's what he did in this game.
Whoever 21 was just
yeah.
Oh my God,
just getting stiff-armed into next year. Then you talk about the screen passes being worked effectively, and who was in the backfield for some of those passes? Derrick Henry. That's what we also discussed. Also, not just having Derrick be in the backfield for run plays, but utilizing him in the pass game. And what did they do? He caught some screens, and he took them for a decent amount of yards. See, this is what everything we're talking about. Using Derrick in the pass game and using Justice Hill in the run game. They did both, which leads to teams not knowing what we're going to do. That's exactly what we talked about. That's exactly what they did. This is what's going to free up that offense for the Ravens, mixing up the play calling continuously, using the running backs not only to their strengths, but things that teams will not know is coming. Bateman, Tutty.
That's right. Yeah.
Bro, I'm happy for Bateman. Finally a touchdown. Him and Lamar finally connect. I love that for him. Please, can we scheme Bateman a little bit more? Let's get him on some good routes. Even if those plays where teams get the pressure on us and we have to get the ball quick, let's get Bateman on that. Let's see what he can. I mean, like, the dude's a great route runner. He can get separation. Let's utilize him a lot more. If we can establish him a lot more, we are dangerous with the weapons that we have on this team. So that was nice to see. We didn't get much help from the receivers because the running game was working so well, but everybody was blocking well for the run, so there's not really much complaints there on that front. I know everybody was worried because Andrews and all those other guys didn't really get touches, but their touches will come. I mean, there will be times where the pass is just on fire and everybody's getting hit for something. So I feel like they know the opportunity is coming, so I'm not too worried about that. But when the run is working that well and you don't have to put the ball in the air that much, I mean, like, I'm okay with that. If you could put a team away like that, waste the clock, dominate time of possession, I'm completely fine with that. Defense, we just have defense played well in that first half. We got great pressure, like you said. We have to work on being consistent in the first half and the second half defensively. I know like you said, they were probably tired. I can't really speak to that because we are not out there on the field. We don't know how that feels. But we have to be able to put those teams away and really just keep our foot on the gas. Because, again, the teams that we face this year, they might complete that comeback. We don't know. So we have to stay consistent. We have to stay ready at all times. I think those were my major points, but I think my major thing I really wanted to say was that they saw what went wrong in the Raiders game. They see what's been wrong the past two games, and I feel as though against this Dallas defense, again, who hasn't really been great the past couple of weeks, but they exposed the weakness. They kept stepping on the weakness of the Dallas defense, and they just took advantage of it. And that's what we need to do. When the team can't guard us on the run game, we run the ball, and we run it effectively. We're one of the best running teams in football. So when we stay consistent in that nature, nobody can stop us. Whether it's Lamar carrying the rock, whether it's Henry carrying the rock, whether it's Justice Hill, when the ball is on the ground, we're hard to stop. And I think they realized that, and they took full advantage of that on Sunday. Let's hope that we can keep that consistency and see if we can move on this Buffalo Bills defense coming on Sunday night. But other than that, I'm really happy the way this team bounced back from their loss to the Raiders. Like you said, we needed the win. We needed to be 1-2 heading into this Sunday night matchup against the Bills, especially with the other teams losing, except for the Steelers. My goodness. But with the Browns and Bengals losing, that helps us even more. So let's just keep it going. Let's keep trying to stack up wins. I'm just glad we got it.
Yeah. And I remember the last one I wanted to make. Kyle Hamilton, much better game from him. Very physical. Not much space allowed for people to complete passes. That dude was playing sticky coverage on those tight ends for the most part. And you said the tire. Ooh, that's the hugest, biggest possum I've ever seen. Oh my God. Sorry. It just crossed the street right in front of me. Very nasty looking thing. What was I gonna say? I just say Kyle Hamilton. I don't remember now. Now I'm scarred. Shoot. But yeah. Anyway, they got it done. But there's a couple things that did happen with the days after. So the Mondays and Tuesdays, as you know, Marlon Humphrey did his little victory formation, his victory IG live thing there. He goes around the team playing and he talks and quote unquote interviews all the players. And Lamar's fed up with it. And I honestly, I want to hear what you think about it. I don't mind it because I think they shouldn't be overly celebrating. They should say, okay, we got the dub, but still, there's a lot to work on still. This was a step in the right direction, but we need to work on this. Lamar's response to when he was approached by Humphrey was, you shouldn't even be on live right now. And then he sort of trolled him about dropping that interception that was thrown right to him earlier in the game. So I don't know if that was a shot by Marlon, I'm sorry, by Humphrey, but that was surely something that Lamar said that kind of raised attention to everybody. And then, even further, I was watching a little bit of the Punchline podcast. That's Marlon Humphrey's podcast. The recent episode was talking about his beef with Lamar. So are they really beefing or are they not? I feel like it's a little bit joking, but like a big joke, but it's kind of carrying on now for a while. If he's going to designate a segment in his podcast to saying I have beef with Lamar or whatever. So I don't know. I think Lamar's right to have all these guys keep their heads on straight. Like, there's still a lot of football left. We are way not even close to where we want to be. And a lot of things to work on. So, yeah, while the DBs were good in that game, they weren't great. And the fourth quarter, they were not great at all. So I don't mind him keeping his teammates' heads straight. So I don't know. You think Humphrey went overboard, or is Lamar being an ass, or what do you think about that?
I mean, the post IG lives, that's just a Marlo thing. That's what he does. After every win. So we're kind of used to it by now. I think today after practice, Lamar addressed that situation during his media availability today after practice. He did. And so he said, so he said, Marlo's his guy, that's his brother, and there's no beef, and so he squashed all the beef rumors, but, he just told him not to have the camera on him because he was frustrated about the way the game ended. He felt as though, like, when he said, like, when he's up, he wants to, like, punish teams. You know what I mean? Like, he said it himself, like, when we're up, I want to punish them. I want to keep my foot on their necks at all costs. And he was just frustrated that the lead they had dwindled in a matter of minutes in the fourth quarter. And he said he didn't want the camera in his face because, he was just frustrated with that while they did get the win, it's the way that, it almost didn't happen. So, he said Marlo's his guy, that's his dog. You know what I'm saying? It's always love between them. But it's just like at that moment, he was frustrated. And he just wanted the lead to not almost dwindle into a loss.
You just kind of wonder, though. Yeah, it is a joke, but you just kind of wonder if there's a little bit of hint of seriousness that they're just not talking about. Because it's kind of dragged on for a while.
Yeah, I mean, Lamar is serious. I mean, Lamar has said repeatedly, like, dude, I'm chasing a bowl. Like, he's so serious when it comes to this bowl stuff. And first of all, I love it, by the way. But he's super serious about he's serious about wanting to win this bowl. And then after, like, coming off of last year, being this close to getting a taste of it. You know what I mean? Like, you're one game away from a taste of the bowl. And then the game that we all know how that one ended. So I think it's just like, not saying that these past couple of years he hasn't been serious, but I think this year, after finally making it to the AFC Championship game and then losing in that fashion, and then watching the Kansas City Chiefs go win it again, it's kind of like, bro, I'm like, dog, I just want, he wants this bad. He wants this real bad, and I can't fault him for that. He's just focused. He's always focused. Like, his attention is always on helping the team win, getting them to the postseason, and trying to get to the bowl. So I think he's just like, right now, he's not celebrating every win. He's not, just focused on the stats. He does. I don't even think he cares about MVP. MVP is probably that's out the window. Whatever.
We got to get
right
right.
now.
That's what he said, right?
Right. Yeah, you just got to get right and just focus on getting this team to the postseason and trying to compete for a Super Bowl. That's all he wants. And he reiterates that constantly. In every interview, when he's asked, I want the bowl. I want this team. I want to bring a championship to Baltimore. He's been serious about it for a while now. And, I think that's just where it comes from. He wants this team to be great. He wants to be great.
Yeah.
And, and I respect it. I respect that. That's what every team wants. Like, you don't come into the NFL just to make money. Some people do. But some people are, they're chasing the ring. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They're chasing that bowl, and that's what he wants. So, as much as I can see your sentiment of him saying, like, with Marlo and IG Lives and all that, but I think this year is just a little bit different because, like, they were right there, and then they got snatched from them.
Well, you better go win it this year then, but not a good start to the season.
I know.
But anyway.
Hey, if we do win it, it'd make for a hell of a story at the end of the season. I'll tell you that much.
It would be.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the most emotional I've seen Lamar recently because he did not hold back on a lot of things. I mean, the Marlon Humphrey stuff was only one thing. Took a shot at the coaching staff. I mean, too conservative at the end. He would not have ran it on 3rd and 5 before we kicked the field goal. Although he's not directly saying we called a soft game, he's showing that, like what you were saying, keep your foot on the neck. All those comments he was making are indirectly going right at the coaching staff for being too conservative at the end. So it's like, call a couple more passes to get them open, get those first downs, and just run the clock out. I agree with him. And then I forgot to talk about the safety that was not called for Prescott, throwing it to a lineman, getting illegal touching. Lamar also made comments on that, saying that, if that was me, it would have been a safety 100%. A little shot at the referees. And then there was a clip that I saw where he was going on the field for the final drive saying, "Stop effing cheating this, bro." So I love this emotional Lamar that I haven't seen for a while. I mean, I already knew he was passionate about a bowl, but I haven't seen him be this open and, like, you know what I mean? Like, this open with his different emotions coming out. Like, it's pretty interesting. This dude is locked in right now, and he's ready. He's trying to rally his troops, and try to get these guys over the hump. So I love the emotional Lamar right now. So let's keep it up.
Yeah, I agree. I think him being the voice of the locker room is very important, and I think that like, if the guys gravitate towards him, if he gives them, like, let's be real, us as Ravens fans, we feel confident because Lamar is the one in the under center taking the snaps at quarterback. That's why we feel so confident. Like, no matter what team we're facing, no matter what defense we're facing, no matter who's coaching that defense, whatever, if 8 is back there taking the snaps, Baltimore feels confident. We always do because he's there. Now, if he, like, and I'm sure the team feels the same way. With Lamar back there, there's nothing that we can't do. So if the guys gravitate towards him, if he becomes that vocal leader that we can see him that he can be, and he can gravitate these guys to try to lead them to a Super Bowl, I mean, like, that's all the confidence you need to go out there and compete. Because you got a guy who wants to see y'all win, who wants to win bad. That's what Brady did. Like, Brady, oh goodness, can't believe I'm talking about Tom Brady. But Brady, he rallied his guys, man. He kept them together. He kept them going. He won 7 championships because of it. Like, and that's what you need. You need that vocal leader to get you going, to keep you going. And that's what Lamar should be for this team. I'm glad he's emotional. I'm glad he's getting in people's butts talking about, we shouldn't be on IG Live. We should be focusing on next week because we got a contender coming into town ready to try to get us to 1-3. You know what I mean? So, I'm like you said, I agree with your sentiment. I'm glad he's emotional. I'm glad he's speaking out. I'm glad he's being passionate about trying to win because, dude, we've been in a position to win multiple times, and we have not gotten there. We've not gotten there. So it's now or never. No team, to be quite honest with you, no team in the NFL right now looks like a contender. No, I mean, some yes. I mean, the Bills look like something, but everybody keeps coming at their competition or whatever.
What about
And then we
the
got
Pittsburgh Steelers?
oh, F them. And then you got the and then you got the Minnesota Vikings. Yes, the Steelers, I guess, but I mean,
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
The
Yeah.
Steelers' defense is always going to keep them in games. We all know that. But yeah, I mean, we got guys, we got contenders out here who are trying to get to the same goal we are. Teams that are 3-0. So, I mean, it's just about trying to stack wins and trying to get to that postseason.
Yeah.
I think that's just the main goal for him right now, and that should be our main focus: stacking wins, clinching the playoff spot, so we can start trying to think about the bowl. We clinch the playoff.
I think they're already locked in.
Yeah.
I think they're ready. I think they're already thinking about Buffalo. I think they were thinking about Buffalo as soon as they're on the train back, or plane back, because this is a huge game.
I hope they watched on Monday.
With a dub this weekend, they will return to 500, which would be massive. 1-3. I mean, it's not looking that good, but it 2-2 would be a lot better. Because
2-2 way better.
This is, oh my gosh, because then we have matchups with the Bengals, 0-3, and the Commanders, which are a young team. So this is a massive game coming up, and I know we're going to give a whole pregame for this in a few days, but I think this team knows what's ahead, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see how they prepare, and see how they come out on Sunday Night Football in darkness with their all black uniforms at the game.
I feel as though like getting to 2-2 right now is the goal. I feel like getting to 2-2. The Bengals play the who do they play this week?
Panthers.
So I mean,
Andy Dalton revenge game. Yeah.
Revenge game. I don't know. He could do it. I'm not saying it's not probable, but it is possible.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, it looked good last week.
He did. I guess that Raiders defense that messed us up, but
that's just a testament how trash we were. Yeah. They aren't good.
I mean, I think getting to 2-2 this week and taking that 2-2 to Cincinnati is going to be very, very important, especially because Cincinnati, at some point, they're going to be looking for a bounce back, especially after not being able to stop Jaden Daniels and that Washington offense.
Yeah.
On Monday. So they're going to be looking for a bounce back. If they get the bounce back on Sunday, albeit good for them, let's just not let that bounce back be us. Okay,
I agree.
So let's take that. Let's try to go 2-2 this weekend, and then we got Bengals next week.
Yes, sir. Real quick, I touched on some of the matchups. You talked about the Jaden Daniels game. Absolutely perfect. Cleveland Browns offense is an abysmal mess right now, and I don't know. They're sacked 8 times. The Giants got to Watson 8 different times. Games in a row that the Giants have put together. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, you were buffering. 2 solid games by Danny Dimes in a row. I know they lost to the Commanders, but listen, don't count them out yet. They play the Cowboys. If they run the ball well, they could steal a win potentially. But anyway, yeah, Cleveland, nightmare game. I don't know what they're doing, and they look like they are in hell right now with Deshaun Watson. So I don't know. Who do they play? I think it's Las Vegas. So they'll probably get right in that game, unless they're that bad. I don't know. Again, these are all intriguing matchups to watch on Sunday before we watch our Ravens play in prime time. Moving on to the Pittsburgh Steelers, they got a 20-10 win against the Los Angeles Chargers. They shut down Jim Harbaugh's ex-Ravens running backs to 2.8 yards a carry, something really low for Dobbins.
Who's been having a hell of a year.
Yeah, he's having a great year. Of course he is when he's not here. He's not getting hurt every play. Sorry, yeah, that's a shot. But anyway, shout out to Dobbins.
No, we're happy for him though.
I'm not really, because I'm a little bit salty. But what was I going to say?
Appreciate your honesty.
Yeah, I just am. Herbert goes out with a high ankle sprain, and then the Chargers just flatline from there, and then the Steelers take the win. So you just got to wonder if Herbert stayed in the game, would they have won? They were up at halftime. So, again, I can't evaluate Pittsburgh yet because they are just
they're getting so many breaks. They really are. I mean, of course, the franchise quarterback goes down with an injury in the fourth quarter, and then of course Pittsburgh runs away with it. So I can't evaluate them yet, and I still won't, because on Sunday they play the Colts. I mean, are they running the ball well? I mean, is Najee doing good? I don't think he is. I feel like he's averaging like 3.6 or something yards per carry. Like, that's decent, but it's not great. I mean, Fields is just average, just enough. He's the best game manager I've ever seen, and that's the way Pittsburgh plays. I mean, they don't ask their quarterbacks to do hardly anything except don't make mistakes. So
I mean,
I don't know.
He's been good at not doing that, though.
Well, he had a pick on Sunday, but the Chargers with Heineke just couldn't do anything about it. So I don't know. I don't know how to evaluate them. I mean, their defense is good, like you said, but you just feel like once they play a really good team, they're just going to get beat. I just don't. I don't think the way they play is sustainable. I mean, who'd they play? The Falcons, who are week one. Kirk is still feeling weird. I don't know. Broncos, you don't know what you're going to get with that team. I know they beat the Buccaneers on Sunday, but 13-6. You kidding me? And then week three, a Chargers team who was keeping up with you until your superstar quarterback goes out. So I don't know. And then they play the Colts, who they're probably going to beat as well. So I don't know. So who would have thought that they would start 3-0? Like, they're so fake. They have to show me something to prove that they're a real contender for me. To me, there's just the same Steelers just beating up on bad teams.
We'll see. We'll see what they can do.
What do you think?
I mean,
or am I just being salty?
You do have a little bit of haterade in your tone,
yeah.
But no, I mean, like, we saw what they did last year. I mean, they ran into the Bills in the playoffs, got dusted.
Right.
I mean, like, we just have to see what happens. I mean, at some point, you're going to run into a team that's going to try to drop some points on you, and you're going to have to try to keep up with that. They haven't really been that great offensively. We have to see. Fields has been doing a really good job and, like, you just keeping them in games and managing the game well. And, like you said, not making mistakes to cost them the game. TJ's a force. I mean, their defense is just something different. We're just gonna have to see. Like you said, we got to see we'll see when they run into us. You know what they have. You know who's gonna be. Is Fields gonna remain the starter? I know Russ has been out for a little bit. It's just a lot of question marks with that team right now. But they're 3-0, so they're answering a lot of those questions as we speak. So
maybe the Colts will surprise us and pull off an upset. That would be
Anthony
cool.
Richardson can stay consistent. He could probably do that.
Anthony, please don't be a bad player. But yeah, we'll see. We're looking forward to this weekend. I know tomorrow we've got Cowboys Giants on Thursday Night Football. I'll be tuning in to see if the Giants could pull off another crazy upset and send the Cowboys into a swirling demise of insanity, because that's exactly what would happen if they lose another game. In the same fashion they've been losing, giving up so many rushing yards.
Yeah, they'd be 1-3 at that point, right?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Which is still recoverable because you play in the NFC, but that would still be pretty embarrassing, losing to the Giants.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. But yeah, this was a fun game. I enjoyed going to Dallas. The stadium was so great. The atmosphere was awesome. The Ravens fans were taking over the stadium by the third quarter. Cowboys fans were just sitting there crying, leaving early before the comeback started. So it was pretty cool. It was awesome. Jerry's World has margarita machines. It was pretty expensive but good. And the food was pretty good too. They had these giant ass box of nachos with like cheese and beef and pico de gallo and jalapeno. Like it was so good. It was pretty good. I enjoyed my trip to Jerry's World, and I'm glad we took over their trap for at least the week. So it was good. Nice. Shout out to the Ravens for winning the game. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna probably go ahead and wrap up. It's getting late. Again, we're happy the Ravens won. Needed that win, or it would have been depressing 0-3. So let's see if they're serious about rebuilding this team. So we'll see if Lamar can rally the troops, get them going, get them prepped up for Sunday. I know today was the first practice, first injury report released. Lots of guys on the Ravens who are banged up and did not practice, including 2 starting linemen, Voorhees and Linderbaum. Yikes. So hopefully they're just sore and they'll come back. Because I know we had some injuries last week too, and then they came back and end up playing. So we'll see. But anyway, that's another video to talk about. We're going to get up on out of here. This was a great one. Dom, you got any last little comments?
Yeah, just glad we got the win. 1-2. Let's make it 2-2 on Sunday.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's see what this team's built of. But yeah, if you enjoyed, please leave a like and a subscription if you're watching this on YouTube. And follow us on Instagram. Send us an email. Hit us up. We would love to talk more. But anyway, once again, I'm so happy the Ravens won. So glad that I didn't fly down there just to see it now. So we're excited about that here at the Ravens Flock Nation. But anyway, we're gonna get up on out of here. We're gonna see you guys in a few days for the pregame for the Ravens-Bills Sunday Night Football matchup. Once again, have a great night. This is Dom and Gonz signing out. And go Ravens.